When you read or hear about narcissism, you come across the term flying monkeys quite often. What are flying monkeys and what is their connection to a narcissist? In this video, I will explain this by going into what I would like to call the narcissist's web of control. I will tell you about flying monkeys, smear campaigning, and their manipulation strategies in creating this web of control. It's important to become aware of manipulative behavior in order to better deal with it. When you recognize what's going on, you will be able to decide how you want to deal with it. I hope this video can be helpful to you. First, let's go into these so-called flying monkeys. It is a term used a lot in the context of narcissistic abuse and describes the people who act on behalf of a narcissist to a third party, usually for an abusive purpose. More simply put, a flying monkey can be anyone that is under the influence or control of a narcissist and doesn't recognize the truth of their manipulative behavior. Flying monkeys believe the fake persona created by the narcissist and have fallen for the narcissist's manipulation tactics. I call the group of people actively under the influence of a narcissist the narcissist's web of control. I will explain later how the narcissist abuses this web on their behalf. When you start seeing the truth of a narcissist in your environment and you start observing and analyzing their behavior, it might be shocking and overwhelming. It's kind of scary how they work and how fast and easily manipulated people are. I have a narcissistic father and saw how he carefully built his web in detail. It's quite amazing and disturbing how much effort a narcissist puts into creating this web. Now, the narcissist just tries to create a web of people they can manipulate and control. They will try to charm people, to boost their ego, get attention, and to use them for manipulation purposes. When someone is not inside the web and they know it, they will try to marginalize this person using a smear campaign. A smear campaign is an attempt to damage and question a person's reputation. It's a form of negative propaganda, and they try to disconnect those people from the environment of their victim. I will get into this more deeply, but first I will show you an example to give you some insight into how a narcissist could build this web of control. I will tell you shortly about a couple in my environment to explain how a narcissist could work. In this example, we are dealing with a charming and intelligent narcissist that is a successful leader of an organization and thus has a position of status. The female seems to be won over by this narcissist. She fell for his charms and also likes to be with someone that is successful. His position of status is thus attractive to her. For clarity, in this example, he relates to the narcissist and she to the victim of this narcissist. It could have been the other way around as well. Now, here are a few observations I made over a longer time period. The first is she is not being herself anymore. During the relationship, you can see how she changes slowly and becomes more toned down, while he is increasingly taking attention and being a charismatic storyteller. Her family and friends are very positive about their relationship, as he is such a nice man and can take care of her. She, however, gives signals that everything is not going great and that she doesn't sleep well lately. She only gives those signals when he is not around, but it seems there never is enough time to dive deeper into it. The signals show this might not be a healthy relationship. Now, when looking closer at the conversations with the narcissist, the conversations feel like a pattern. Once he knew what I did and what kind of choices I made in my life, he would ask an update about this, and then he starts giving compliments. He just keeps complimenting and tries to be flattering, but repeats himself a lot. It seems off and he can't really keep attention after 2 or 3 questions in conversations. All conversations seem to lead to him telling a story about himself or what he recognizes in himself. It is clearly about him. For me, this is a clear sign he is at least very self-centered and doesn't show any real interest. Another important observation is the dynamic as a couple. As a couple, their dynamic has only two flavors of being very positive about people or blaming them for all kinds of things. They expect things from others and reward people when they do what they want or play along with them. If people don't play their game of attention and status, they blame them or say those people are selfish. They say they don't really understand them and are frustrated about it like children. It's basically all behavior based on conditional love. We can observe she becomes more dependent and isolated from family and friends. The relationship shifts to her being more dependent on him for money and validation. She seems to lose touch or contact with her family and friends, creating a void and become more dependent on his love. A lot of the people in her environment are like flying monkeys and talk about how great and successful the man is. He can take care of her and they are glad she finally found someone like that. Sadly, she has become stuck inside the web of her narcissistic partner. The people stuck inside the web don't see the signals of her losing strength, being less like herself and becoming less visible. They believe in the false, happy and successful reality of the narcissist. The people who do see what is happening seem to not act on it, because it seems crazy to say what you suspect, or they feel uncertain about it. The people outside the web are likely to be victim of negative propaganda and therefore pushed away. Her true friends see or feel that she is slipping away and feel like they can't connect with her anymore. The narcissist has created a dependency on him, and sadly she has become stuck inside the web of her narcissistic partner. So, how to recognize if you or someone is stuck inside the web? The example shows it's very hard to recognize when you are in this situation, because it will feel like you are the reason you are unhappy. It can also be tough to recognize if someone else is in the web, as stuck people tend to shut themselves down or slowly disconnect from their support system. I hope that learning about narcissism gives you more knowledge in order to recognize it faster. A narcissist generally targets people that are somewhat vulnerable at that specific time to create a dependency on them. In a relationship, a narcissist stimulates self-doubt and blaming yourself, and it seems like nothing of this could be because of your narcissistic partner. All the flying monkeys will support this wrong thought. This means an important signal to recognize that you are in this spot is that your partner doesn't stimulate your self-worth, independency, or development as a person. They also don't stimulate you to have good connections with your family and friends. I will go into this more. First, I will go deeper into manipulation strategies used to create a web of control, because learning about this will help you recognize this. The first is finding triggers and control buttons. A narcissist tends to ask a lot of questions, but it might feel more like an interrogation. You can see and or feel they don't really care. They try to find information to form some kind of connection, such as similar hobbies or ways of thinking. Then they will talk about this with you a lot, or tell their own stories and pulling attention towards them. They don't give a lot of room for disagreeing with them, and sometimes keep talking just to make sure you have no space to respond to them right away. They will throw in compliments or be very positive about you, which can be flattering. When you notice this happens to you, it might feel empty or you might wonder what they are trying to do. This means you possibly don't care too much about flattery or superficial compliments. Obviously, it's nice when someone is positive or gives compliments. The difference with a narcissist is that this behavior in the long term will feel empty and strange because there does not seem to be any further development, such as getting a deeper connection or getting into deeper conversations. The second strategy is testing your environment. A narcissist strategy uses friends and families as tools, and they will test your family and friends to see how strong your bond is with them. They will try to get information from them and find out their possible triggers. A narcissist will search for what someone is passionate about and start complimenting about that or their lifestyle. They try to find a way to connect and ask questions about that subject a lot. From that basic position, they see whether someone is controllable and easy to manipulate. They will tell your environment positive things about you and observe if your environment will be positive about them to you. This is creating a form of pressure to like the narcissist and should send you a message that they are great and to be trusted. It confirms which people are on the narcissist side and possibly get stuck inside the web. The third strategy is creating doubts about those outside of the web. Later on, the narcissist will create doubts about persons that they don't control in your environment. They will try to magnify any negative thoughts you might have about someone and give this a lot of attention. They try to grow your own doubts and increase your negative feelings about someone. How does this work? For example, you might think it's nice if your family would visit your new workplace. If this doesn't happen right away, a narcissist will bring it up and keep asking questions such as, why didn't they go by your work? Don't they support you? Don't they think it's important? I think you deserve it. At the moment some friends or family did visit your workplace, the narcissist might say, finally they came by. They probably felt like they had to do that because you asked for it so much. I visited the first day. This is trying to stimulate the feeling of being ungrateful or feeling not respected or loved by magnifying insecure thoughts about whether someone appreciates you. Another example of questioning a connection is, why does he or she never call you? Wouldn't that be nice? You are good friends, right? Doesn't he or she like you anymore? All these questions aim to disturb your connection and positive feelings about friends and family that are not inside their web of control. And yes, this is very disturbing manipulative behavior. The last strategy I will go into is creating tensions and disconnecting you from family and friends. The narcissist might try to create a difference or show a contrast between your friends and family's behavior and their own loving behaviors towards you. They will say you deserve to be treated right and not like how they treat you. A narcissist wants you to start blaming them, and you might even not notice that the narcissist manipulated you into that position. This can be a slow process to disconnect you from your family and friends. In the meantime, they keep maintaining a connection with your friends and family that can be manipulated easily. This is all to weaken your support system and creating more codependency. Now, I will go shortly into how the web is used. The flying monkeys or manipulated environment is the web of a narcissist. By having third parties in control, a narcissist will want to maintain an illusion of having power over you. This is all to be able to control and manipulate you, as the web will provide pressure or self-doubt. The web can work in multiple ways. A common way is the smear campaign, which sadly is very brutal and painful. The web can be useful for a narcissist when you, for example, break up with a narcissist. They will have the support from the people inside their web, and they could play the victim towards them. Everyone inside the web will understand the narcissist, and the narcissist could spread lies about you. This means old-fashioned gossip and trying to turn other people against you. A narcissist could even use things as saying they are concerned about you because you are, for example, an alcoholic or depressive. They will create a false reality and convince people to believe it. Most things you do will confirm their lies and false reality, which is a very tough spot to be in. It can be devastating and have real consequences. The narcissist will know your weaknesses and soft spots and use those. They could accuse you, turning the truth around, or act like they want to protect you. It will seem everyone is against you, and you might even start doubting yourself. It's very painful when this happens. The second way is to abuse by proxy. A narcissist can use their web to get other people to abuse you. In this method, the narcissist itself will try to stay out of it and stay clean. They merely use their puppets as a puppet master to reject you, shame you, tell you that you're crazy, and so forth. The third way the web can be used is by advocating the greatness of a narcissist. People could say the narcissist is so great and the best thing ever happened to you. It creates pressure, and it might be scary to tell someone that the narcissist isn't so nice as he or she appears to be. It will seem like you are crazy by saying those bad things about a narcissist. And finally, it is used to disconnect yourself from your environment and support system. It makes you more dependent on the narcissist. You get more doubts about whether people like you, and all these people seem to like the narcissist a lot. When someone is not inside the web, the narcissist will also try to create a disconnection or make sure you will doubt your connection with those people. Sadly, we can observe how complicated and tough a situation can become when you're stuck inside the web. There are ways to deal with it, however. For now, this concludes the first video about the narcissist web control. In my next video, I will go into who the victims are inside the web, and more importantly, how to deal with all this. What questions can we ask ourselves when having doubts? And what steps can we take if we do recognize an unhealthy situation? For now, thank you for listening. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to stay updated. I wish you strength and kindness.